If you think this boy is a genius, it means that you disregard him. It is him who is great genius. Don't judge the book by its cover. His mind has been surpassing the adults at his class. Just having listened his friend's speech, Henry was asked to deliver a speech. Henry arbitrarily said his feelings. There is one thing that we should know, that as long as we stay here, we should do the best we can, for whom we truly love. But his classmates couldn't understand anymore. His teacher wondered why he didn't attend school for genius. He responded philosophically, "Because it is better for my psychosocial development, teacher, so as to easily interact with people in this school." Henry was modest himself. He didn't need the teachers anymore. Even there was no need to study with genius students. Honestly, he wants to go to school in order to take care of his younger brother, Peter. The second reason is his neighbor Christina, who is his classmate. After school, Henry often went to his own house and invented many things, researched mechanical theory. He also sat in front of computer desk to help his mother to earn some money. In terms of making money, to Henry, it is a piece of cake. There is nothing about stock funds that he doesn't know. He used his mother account, Susan, to make more than $100,000 from stock market. Henry thought his mother should resign to stay home and focus on playing game or compose books, read stories, but Susan didn't want to lose her job, in spite of the fact that she is a waitress, but she wants a more meaningful life. Plus, in her store, she gets on well with a good sister. In free time, they drank together, gossip about everything. At this evening, Henry felt uncomfortable. At midnight, he had to take some pills. He accidentally saw his neighbor Christina stay up late. Also her stepfather, Glenn, was drinking downstairs. Then he abused her. Because of getting drunk, he became cruel. Henry saw the blowsy conditions of Christina, then told what happened to the principal, but Glenn is a local police. Plus, Henry didn't have the evidence. She couldn't trust him. This drove Henry crazy. He didn't care anymore. If the principal don't involve, he had to do himself. This man seems to be a decent father, but in reality, he is a pervert. Once he got drunk, he always did this with his daughter. Henry came back home. The first thing he did was calling to the child sponsoring organization, then told them that Glenn had been sexually abusing. Soon he figured out. The staff of this organization went to Glenn's house to investigate, but Glenn's brother is a senior official. Just by some words, he could stop the investigation of the organization. Henry never gave up. He knew how to show the truth. First, he found a place in the suburbs, carefully calculated the position having evidence abolition, to let the younger brother Peter, associate to find the position to put sniper rifles, then went to a weapons shop, noted down the camera's position, then wrote down the weapons instruction. Everything had been all ready. He waited for the plan to be implemented, inherently wanted to make a big deal. Unluckily, there was something suddenly happened. Susan heard Peter cry, then went upstairs. What she saw was only Henry was convulsing on the ground. The doctor immediately operated, but the result was not positive. After waking up, Henry saw the doctor, who didn't want to tell a lie to a child. Henry asked him about his conditions. It was a malignant tumor or a meningeal tumor. "Can I see the magnetic resonance image?" Henry asked, after viewing his brain scans. Henry knew he didn't have much time. Few days after his condition became more serious, he reminded his mother about his funeral. He intended to mislead his mother, that told to Peter, to take care of himself, and mother, let his mother see his red diary. After a short period, Susan and Peter gradually overcame tragic. The day when Peter gave his mother the red diary of Henry, Susan opened it, then became shocked. He wrote down what happening with Christina. She prepared to call child sponsoring organization, but hadn't called yet. She saw next page in this diary. Why you have to call child sponsoring organization. It is not a possible option. Henry soon predicted his mother's reactions. In this night, when Peter went to bed, she tried looking through her window view. She saw Christina sitting in front of her window, still stayed awake. Glenn sat downstairs and drunk. And then, Susan saw his abuse. It happened again. She was so scared. She called Glenn to stop his actions, but it didn't work. Saw the little girl handcuffed, sat there and couldn't do anything. She was sexually abused, and helpless herself. Susan also never gave up, opened the diary again. Followed what were written. She opened her safe. Inside it, she saw a recorder of Henry. There was a plan for solving the problem. In the morning the day after, she followed the Henry's instructions. The first was avoiding the cameras and taking money, then going inside the weapon shop. After bargaining for a while, she bought a gun. She soon experienced her son's intelligence. Each her action and interaction were predicted by Henry. He recorded for her. She practiced using the gun. Susan met Glenn, then used her talented acting skill to take his signature. Of course, this was arranged by Henry. Thanks for her acting. For implementing Henry's plan successfully, first, she took Peter and Christina to school, then put on the headphone, set the clock. They quickly came home, carried the gun to the place written in Henry's diary. After checking the gun, everything had been all ready. Glenn saw a document in his house, suddenly heard the beep outside. He opened his door, he went outside, went to the place creating the noise. Susan saw him. Susan inherently could hit him, but she heard Henry's voice to inform her to adjust the position. Place the gun close to you to reduce recoil. Waiting until Glenn go to the vision, follow the gun's gaze. Glenn eventually went to the place where Henry predicted, but at that time, Susan touched something. She prepared to pull the trigger. However, two photo lines appeared that were photos of Henry in the past. Susan tried to stay calm. She took off the headphone, carried the gun and went out, and Glenn was standing to wait for her. Susan couldn't stand anymore, directly questioned his depraved behavior. Furthermore, she wanted to solve the problem. If the child sponsoring organization didn't do anything, she would contact the higher authority. Definitely clarified this. Made him live unwell. After leaving here, she handled the gun, then drove to the school. On the move, she saw a police car. Glenn came back home. He felt scared. He knew that Susan was serious. She knew his offense. There was a call from his brother who is senior official. There was no way. The police was on move. As Glenn's sexual abuse, at school, the principal observed Christina dancing. She saw the many scars on her body. She immediately informed the police. Due to being under pressure, the police couldn't proactively do anything. Glenn felt in the depths of despair. Before the police reached here, he killed himself by a gun. No one knew that. The things happened were predicted by Henry. The place was for the fact that Susan didn't use the gun, as well as made Glenn go to here to meet Susan, in order to inform him about his offense. Susan wanted to kill him, made him unable to protest. And the principal's call just was the measure for making Glenn feel scared of the police, informed the police to implement the investigation. But two things appeared in one time, and accompanied by the fact that his brother was helpless, made him more desperate. He believed he had no way. After that suicide by himself, finally, Susan used Glenn's signature to take the custody of Christina, then raised Peter and Christina. Had a happy life.